So we're doing this, I don't want to call it a Prince tribute, but just because we live here and most of you don't, just going to share what is around us and what we have access to. And I'm not doing this as any slouch because most of my life, if you ask me who my favorite artists are, it's a toss-up between Van Halen or Prince. Both of which had fantastic albums come out in 1984. Van Halen's album, 1984, and Purple Rain. As a good parent, Mom never let me go see the movie because you shouldn't let your kids go see that movie. But Christmas 1984 in the Lloyd house, I got a sweet Sony boombox and the cassette of Purple Rain. And I played it and played it and played it. It was my first like non-read-along book / Fisher-Price tape or album that I had. So it was my first intro into adulthood. Why is this woman just standing in the middle of the street? I will hit you. Let's just do weird things in the street. Sorry. So first stop is, I've heard that there's a mural being painted by a famous graffiti artist downtown. We're on our way. So we're here at the Chanhassen Cinema, and this is where Prince would actually come to the movies. He would do the thing where, you know, it's like your birthday party and you rent out the whole theater and come in and see stuff that he wanted to see. And I don't know if they've commissioned it or the city or how it came about, but there's a famous artist, graffiti artist, flew in from Australia just to do this, named Mr. G. And Mr. G is painting a mural of Prince on the outside of the theater, and he's actually in the process of doing it now. And just the detail he has so far with the hair and the eyes are just gorgeous. So a little bit of history in the making going on right now, and a tribute to Prince in his own city. All right, that was a very, very, very cool opportunity there. Meeting Mr. G while he was doing the mural. I didn't film us talking to him because I kind of wanted to give him a little bit of privacy. He was very gracious to even speak with us and interrupting while he's doing that work. That actually was a super exclusive because he mentioned he's not even letting the media know where he is or that he's here until tomorrow. So he asked me to hold off loading the video until he did that. And out of respect and professionalism, that's what I'm going to do. And Amy had the foresight enough to grab a piece of cardboard that he was doing test colors on, have him autograph it, and then he put Prince RIP on it. Super cool. Great idea, Amy.
Thank you.
You're great.
I am.
You're so pretty and you're great.
Thank you.
Let's go.
We are downtown Minneapolis, and I'm standing behind this wall on the parking garage, and as we take a peek over the garage, there is famous First Avenue, where many scenes from Purple Rain were filmed, and kind of where, I don't want to say it's where Prince got famous, but he certainly played here a lot on his way up, and him and the movie helped First Avenue, and I would say First Avenue helped him. So we're going to make our way down to that corner to get the shots out front. This is the famous First Avenue shot that they use in all the movie, and you always see his motorcycle coming down this street here, pulling up out front in the movie. And if you look, you can see there's a whole bunch of stars around the outside of the building. And that's where they put people that perform here. Some of them a little more famous than the others. But over here on this corner we're going to go over and see is Prince's star. They put it right outside the door in a prominent place. And there's a few other local bands that have made it big surrounded by him on there as well. So here he is. You can see the outside is covered with stars of famous bands that have played here. And Prince's is gold now. A few days after he passed, someone came down here in the middle of the night and actually painted it gold, different from the other ones, anonymously, and I hope they leave it that way. It's kind of cool that someone paid tribute to him in that way. For some reason there's a piano here. Maybe he played that as well. But Soul Asylum, another local band sitting right next to Prince's star. And so this is how it is around the entire building. Just stars with famous bands that have played here all the way around. And if you look, some of them are blank. That could be you sitting next to Ice Cube someday when you make it big. So this is a little bit of a lesser known spot, just about 2 blocks down from First Avenue. And you can see this wall has a mural behind me. And this is where Prince came to get his first publicity photos at the age of 18. Photographer Robert Whitman, is that right? Robert Whitman came down here. He had a friend tell him, you got to take pictures of this guy. He's going to be big one day. And if you go online and look at the pictures, Prince is actually standing right here where I am. There's a couple of cars behind him. And sorry, I don't know how to read music, but there's this little whippity-doo that comes up. And there's an 8. But Prince's afro is just blocking that 8 in the photo. And this is exactly where he stood. Do you like this building? Fauché. This is, if you are a true Purple Rain fan, you may recognize this is the home that they used for Prince's home, his parents' home that he lived in the movie Purple Rain. And because of that, this is also where they used a lot of shots from the movie for When Doves Cry. A lot of iconic scenes of Prince rushing through the door, finding his dad beating up on his mom, and he drags him off of him, and then his dad hits him, and all those fight scenes. And then of course it's also where in the movie his dad shot himself, and then the ambulance pulls up out here on this street, and Prince goes down in the basement and starts smashing up all of the preserves and makes his cute little angry Prince noises. Works out his anger, finds his dead music, turns his life around, and becomes the star, the kid. We're going along this dirt road on the outskirts of Henderson, Minnesota. And this road is where the motorcycle scenes were filmed for Purple Rain. Prince would have been on his Honda with that famous purple painted Windjammer on the front, going down this dirt road. And coming up pretty soon, if I can find it, should be the exact spot where Apollonia removed her clothes and got in what she thought was the waters of Lake Minnetonka. I think I'm in the right spot. It's hard to tell. It's been 33 years since they filmed, and everything's kind of grown over, and as you can see, it's flooded out here. But if I'm in the right spot, Prince would have ridden his motorcycle down here, and then under this railroad trestle bridge thing, and then over here I think is where the famous scene happened. I'm gonna have to de-shoe myself and trudge through this muck and check out the other side. This is the actual spot. Prince is up here on top of this railroad truss that I'm standing on, although I think he's a little bit lower. And Apollonia is standing somewhere along the bank here. And Prince is just standing up here and he's casually tossing rocks into the water. And she says, she's basically asking him for help in getting into the music scene here in Minneapolis. And he says he can't help her, and she says, why not? And he says, well, first you have to pass the initiation. And she says, well, what's the initiation? So he stops and he thinks, he goes, well, first you have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Then she gets kind of a sly look on her face, takes off her stuff, shows her goods, gets in the water over here, freezes her butt off, gets out. Prince gives her a little look and says something along the lines of, that was kind of brave, but that ain't Lake Minnetonka. Then he jumps on his motorcycle, throws some dirt up, drives back underneath the railroad truss and takes off back up towards the road here like he's going to leave her behind. But then he comes back and she pretends like she's not going to get on, but then she gets on. That's how love grows, folks. And it all happened right here. Purple Rain, Apollonia's Jubblies. So you can barely see it, but right here is a little road that comes down from the dirt road. And it's flooded out, but Prince would have ridden right through here under the trestle, and that's where love would have blossomed. We're now headed to our final 2 locations, but on the way there we have to stop back by the house to get a change of clothes. One of us, when crossing over the flooded creek area, fell in face down into the water. Then when coming back across the other way to go back to the truck, that same person fell face first back into the water again. So we're gonna go get a change of clothes.
But wait.
Wait.
I'm not a ninja. I don't have those weird ninja foot skills on slippery stuff like going across the stupid weird tree stump that was barely anything to stand on. Captain Ninja here was like, I'm gonna do this gracefully.
I'm basically like a billy goat trained to be a ninja.
Well,
I've got balance, I can climb things, and I eat anything you put in front of me.
it's a good description.
Thank you.
But
Here we are at the entrance to what was Prince's residence. This is just a little guard shack he had, and that window being broken out is fairly recent because I've been here a few times just looking at the place long before he died. And this place was in good shape. It looks like a few people have come up here and left some purple lilacs for him. And as you look at it, I mean, this is a nice guard shack. This thing wasn't cheap. But he would have pulled up, much like I am. Guard would have come out. What's your name? State your business. And you would have said, this is Morris Day. I'm here to see my homie Prince. Gates would open up, go down the drive. When you go down the drive, there's a little bit of a circle that comes around. And in the center of the circle, you used to be able to see it on the old Google Maps, but the trees have grown over too much. The center of the circle was the symbol that became his name. And nice, decent looking house. And then for some reason, over in the far field, he had an old Netherlands style windmill, which was pretty strange. I've never actually looked up to see the story on that as why he had that. I probably should. Maybe you guys can do that. Google it, leave a comment, let me know what it was about. But this was the site of his property. I've heard 2 different stories about why he tore the house down. Story number 1, which is more plausible, is that he was having a dispute with the county on the homesteading tax. And so to get around that, he went ahead and tore the house down. I also heard a story where his dad was living here, and after his father passed, he went ahead and tore it down because it reminded him too much of his father. So I don't know which one of those are true or if either one of them are, but that's what I've heard. And that's it. Just across these 2 roads is Paisley Park, which was a recording studio that Warner Brothers built for Prince, and he had an apartment here as well. After he had torn his house down, when he was in Minneapolis, Chanhassen, this is where he would stay. He didn't live here full time, as do most people with a good amount of money in Minneapolis. They get the heck out during the winter. So this is the far shot of it. We're going to go through 2 tunnels, one down there and one that's right underneath of me to get there. And from what I understand, there's some pretty good artwork and graffiti that people have put in the tunnels. These tunnels previously had 0 graffiti in it. So we're going to head over. Tunnel 1, and kudos to the city / state for thinking about this. They had to build a bridge to get over this creek anyway. So they killed two birds with one stone and actually built a pedestrian / bike tunnel underneath in order to keep people from having to cross the busy road. Now in this one, I don't really see any graffiti at all except for that one. Not much thought put into that. Well, here's a little bit more. Thank you for a funky time. Call me up whenever you wanna grind. I can see fresh paint on here. So maybe they already painted over some of the... They killed him for telling the truth. I don't think they did. Maybe they painted over some of the graffiti already. No one brave enough to venture on the other side of the creek to put anything up. Entrance to tunnel 2. And I can tell you, someone did really good on this. I don't know why it's blue and white. It's the colors of Molly's school, the Minnetonka School District, but yeah, this one's much more full. I guess I'll do this side walking in and the other side walking out. Well, I do have to show the other side because I couldn't figure out why this was a little Native American saying rest in peace Prince, but over here it says Natives for Prince, and it's got some little feathers there on the end. Someone left a little bucket with markers here so you could leave something. I'm not going to do that because as nice as the thought is, it's nothing I would do. I'm coming up to the edge of the property here. Echo! And you can see someone came right after it happened and did what they called string art in the fence. And when I initially saw this, my eyes didn't focus right and I thought it was just like weird trapezoids and things they put in the fence. But after I drove by and got a little bit further away, I could see they were actually spelling out words. And here we are coming up on the building itself. When this initially happened, people swarmed to this area and this fence was covered with balloons, drawings, notes, papers, everything. Little tributes that people were leaving. And they stayed up for a little while, rained, got a little gross. And instead of the city just coming along and tearing them down and throwing them away, they actually archived them so people could figure out what to do with them. But they did leave some of the quality stuff and some of the stuff that was holding up better up here. And of course some people have returned to place more items. This is the original string art that I saw that I thought was just shape someone made in the fence. But it says, "We miss you." And then up here it says "Purple Rain." Now that I see it, I feel really dumb that I didn't see it the first time. Or Courtney actually left her shirt for you. The kid. That's what they called him in the movie. This is coming around the main entrance of the property. Some people have left some really good artwork here. To put that much work into something and leave it here, it's really saying something that's dedicated. Someone even did that little, I don't know if that's embroidery. It's not embroidery. knitting, whatever. Now, I know they used to be in here. I don't know if they still are. But 2 motorcycles, the one from Purple Rain and the one from another movie, used to be housed inside. And it just goes on and on. This is the rear entrance, the service entrance. And you can see there's still a tour bus back there. Never did see the tour bus move. I saw it gone once, and I heard it was gone for maintenance, but never saw him actually use it. When you knew a show was coming up, there would actually be a little like box truck that would be pulled up either back here or in the other service entrance loading up equipment. Someone was nice enough not only to leave this original artwork of Prince riding a bicycle, but someone left him some nacho cheese Doritos. I don't know what the story is, if he loved those or not. I know he loved pancakes, and the one thing he loved to make for people was omelets. The entire country of Vienna is being represented. Wanted to show this one too. Someone made little origami flowers into the symbol and then put it on the fence here. That took a little bit of time. That was nice. And finishing it off where it started, show you how much he had done today. If you remember this morning, all he had was a basic outline of the eyes. It was working on the nose, but now he's added the mouth, the lips. It's looking good. Check out Mr. G, go to his website and look at all his work, because he doesn't just do graffiti, he does all kinds of things. All the way here from Sydney.
Conclusion. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. I'm very sorry I did not get the video of Amy falling in the water, but at least we got the story. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and bang!